Welcome back, family. In our last episode, we were looking at butterflies and historic fire trucks in downtown Truckee, California. In this episode, we're going to be going clean across the state to a charming little town in the Trinity Alps of California called Weaverville. While we're here, we'll be visiting some of the landmarks, visiting historic sites, and a few other things. As we drive out of Truckee heading down the road, I want to take a quick moment and ask you to please hit that subscribe button and let's grow this channel. While you're at it, hit that like button, let the YouTube algorithm know you like my content. Then head over to Patreon and join my Patreon community over there. You can be a standard member or you can join for $1 a month, where you'll gain access to the chat rooms, exclusive content that you won't see anywhere else. Now, on to our episode. Alright, you guys, so I don't know exactly where we pulled over at. I just saw a sign for Scenic Overlook, and I just had to check it out. Let's go out and see what we can find. Alright, so first thing I noticed when pulling out is informational literature. Let's go check this out. Omega Diggings Overlook Trail. Oh, there's a trail here. This gentle quarter-mile interpretive loop trail takes you to a viewing platform. The platform offers views of the South Yuba River Canyon, Sierra Buttes, and remnants of the old Omega Mine hydraulic gold mining diggings. There's nothing wrong with stopping and enjoying the view for just a few minutes. Oh my God, that's beautiful. And you can see the remnants of the old diggings down there, actually. Come around here, see some of the tailings right there, matter of fact. And this is just a sign pointing you to the trail. Wow, look at that view, you guys. There's more mine tailings over there. There. My finger's right on it. Right there. God, we look at the drop on that. I hate to fall off on that. But I can probably, man, if I was allowed to live here, I'd probably live right here. This is such a beautiful view. Absolutely stunning. Makes worth getting off the interstate, really does. Kind of wish I had driven this highway years ago, but you know what? I'm happy I'm driving it now and I get to share it with you guys. This is, yeah. From the parking lot, I make my way down the trail to go to the Overlook area. Along the way, I look at some of the local signage that the Tahoe National Forest has to offer on the evergreens and the local Fiona. Then I make to the platform, and whoa, what a view, you guys. Now, I thought the drop up at the parking lot was something. The drop up here gets even more intense. But, you know, I'm not afraid of heights, so it didn't bother me that much. But I did enjoy seeing the valley from up here, and it's a beautiful view. Now, to be honest with you, I wish I knew more about this place, but I was thankful for this signage. Well, this sign's all messed up. Gives you a little bit of what you're looking at across the valley here. Fall Creek Mountain over that way, Bowman Mountain, Quartz Hill, Sierra Buttes Lookout, Salina Peak. Absolutely gorgeous view up here. This is worth a walk. Now guys, if you're ever in California and you're heading down Highway 20, make sure you come here and stop off at the Omega Diggings Trail. This place is a spectacular scenic view right off of Interstate 20 and worth every minute just coming in and hanging out, let the truck rest, you know, get off the interstate, enjoy the back roads, see the countryside. Definitely worth stopping here. All right, you guys, we're off.
Take the next left to stay on Overlook Road, then turn right. Take the next right toward California 20 West, then turn right onto California 20 West.
Alright, you guys, we just pulled into Sacramento, and I'm actually sitting in a park that is aptly named after the founder of gold here in California, Sutter's Landing Regional Park. Now, they're whining because there's a dog park right here, and we plan on taking them out to this dog park and letting them run, but there's too many dogs here right now. And Anubis is a little bit more aggressive than what needs to be allowed in the park, so we're figuring something else out here at the moment. We're not sure what we're going to do. Park right over here. Huge dog park. Beautiful dog park. And then here you can see parking, river access, bike trail, indoor skate park, parking, Boca ball courts. A little more signage over here. And you can see it's a pretty large park following the American River all the way down. So, yeah, the American River right here. Got some beach access through here. And then basketball courts. There is a skate park here, from my understanding. And then they're also going to be having more construction. And if you look, see there's more about the park and where it came from. Minimalizing carbon footprints. They've got a whole area over here staged where they're working on stuff. Now, I want to point something out. These are little flowers right here. Really bad thorns on them. I went to bring the dogs down here to walk along the trail, and they just kept getting those in their paws. It took maybe 3 times of pulling them out. I went and put them back in the truck. I don't want to hurt them like that. Yeah, I don't know how to phrase it, but I really like to bring them out here and let them walk, but their paws are going to get torn up from those. There's like little thorns all throughout this grassy area. But the area is really nice, and there's a really nice shaded parking right here. Which I guess they're using solar energy, making use of it. Give people shade for parking and harness the sun at the same time. Bike trail, river access. And if I'm correct, that building over there with the mural, that is where the skate park is at. Yep, see a little sign right there. So if you're a skater, if you like to skate, there you go, man. You got a skate park right here in Sutter. Now, I've got to go relieve Jennifer, but in a little bit, or later on this evening, if we make it back down here, because there's a lot to see in Sacramento, a lot to see. But if we make it back down here, we'll go down here by the water and check out the American River. But there's a whole walking path, and there's, like I said, there's a lot to see. There's a few other parks. There are places I want to go. After a short discussion between me and Jennifer about the conditions of the park, we decided we'd just go ahead and leave and see some other parts of Sacramento. Figure out what we were going to do. We might be here for the night, or we might make our way on down the highway towards Redding, up towards Weaverville. We weren't still decided on that point. We did know we didn't want to stay here at Sutter's Landing.
Hopefully it stays in there because it won't stay shut. Bye-bye.
Alright guys, it's a little noisy down here because we're parked underneath the interstate. Literally, I-5 or I-80, one of the major highways is right above us. And this little park we pulled into, we paid $7 for, it's called Discovery Park. Now, right now I'm utilizing the shade. I got my hood popped to run the AC because it is cooking hot here. And you know, the only way this truck doesn't overheat when I run the AC in this kind of heat is I gotta pull over somewhere and pop the hood. Nice place to pull over. A little on the noisy side, but a really beautiful park here. On hot summer days, it helps to find a good shady spot, even if it is under Interstate 5. Now, exactly where are we here at this park? This park is called Discovery Park. It is located on the north end of Sacramento, right along the American River. It's 302 acres and features a whole host of amenities. An archery range, a boat dock, miles of hiking trails. To access this park, you would get off on Interstate 5 right at Garden Highway Road, or follow Google Maps through Sacramento like I did. Now, as you can see, this park is huge. I didn't get a chance to go and visit all of the amenities that were available here and see everything. Matter of fact, I clambered to the shade pretty hard to stay cool. And, you know, keep an eye on the dogs. I wanted to let them run and play, but the pavement down here and even the grass area was really hot. So I opted for just going back to the truck, sticking close to the shaded areas, and our next destination, Redding, and then Weaverville. Alright guys, so we made it to Redding last night. I obviously got my shower in. I didn't videotape around the truck stop. Alright you guys, so here in a few minutes, we're going to get out of Redding for a little bit, for a couple of days. Redding is not, it's a decent city to come and visit and be a tourist and have fun in. But if you're car camping, you really got to have your head on a swivel a lot and, you know, really play it by ear. A lot of the places like here in Walmart and stuff just don't allow car camping in their parking lots, and believe me, I've been in and out of this place for 15 years. I've seen some really weird stuff happen here. So what we're going to do is head up to Douglas City and go find ourselves a spot by the river, some trees, and a campground for a couple of days. And then come back down on Monday to take care of some business that Jennifer's got to take care of. And then on Tuesday, we'll probably be moving north, somewhere around that time, to some other locations for gold mining and metal detecting. Now, cross our fingers we can get a campsite at Douglas City Campground. And that's a spot there where we can do some metal detecting and gold mining as well. So, let's get to it. I'm not too grainy, but we kind of landed at our destination, but not really. So to my left right here is another campground called Steiner Flat Campground. Now that campground in years past was a really nice free campground, but currently is closed until further notice. And it's even posted here on this board which is just down the road. Now, where are we at? Oh my God, where are we at? Well, we are in Douglas City, California. We're up in the Trinity Mountains, also known as Trinity County. And right in front of me, like literally right in front of me in the direction I'm looking, is the Trinity River. Now, of course, you can't really see it right now because of how dark it is and all the bushes and trees. I'm going to turn around, make you guys dizzy. As you can see, it's dark. But in the morning, we'll go down and explore this some more. Lorenza Gulch is what this spot is called. And this used to be an open lot. Okay, like this is probably my 4th time coming up here to camp over a 15-year period. And like when I first came up here in 2012, 2013, there was nothing right here. This is all empty, and you can walk all the way down to the campgrounds down there, and no rocks, no bathrooms, nothing. The next year, they turned this place into the boat ramp that you see now. And the campgrounds were open for several years. Now, me and Jennifer were warned from family before coming up here that campground probably is closed. But I wanted to at least come up here. It's been years. Like, what, almost 8 years now, Jennifer? 9. 9 years since we've been back up here. So I at least wanted to come up here. And we'll probably get a campsite down the road at Douglas City in the morning. For tonight, we're going to find somewhere around here to boondock it. I'm not going to go down into the Douglas City campgrounds knowing that it's Friday night for one. They're probably full at this point. They're a paid campground. So I'll just hit it up in the morning and see whoever leaves, I'll grab their spot. Other than that, we're up here for the night. And hopefully tomorrow we can also put our gold pans in the water. Because this whole area all the way down is known for gold. Now this area, I know for a fact, is owned by somebody. It's actually a mining claim that somebody owns. And what first brought me up here in 2011 and 12 was the fact that the club I belong to, Gold Prospectors Association of America, they had the mining claim up here. And that's what actually brought me to the Trinity River for the first time, was following the gold trails of the GPA mining guide. I know that down in Douglas City, you can at least pan for gold. Down at the Douglas City campground, they have that open for everybody down here. But right here, it's a private mining claim. Now, a few years ago, I know this claim was up for sale on eBay, and I tried to purchase it. Couldn't do it. I just couldn't come up with the fundage or come up with a deal with the guy to buy this place. In other words, we'd be owning this mining claim, and I'd have you guys coming out here mining for gold. But, you know, it is what it is. And it's just nice to be able to still come up here and hang out for the night. It's going to be an interesting night boondocking it up here. It's dark out here. It is dark. And I'm using my selfie stick with lights on it for some kind of light. Jennifer, she's asleep right now, and I'm probably going to head to bed soon, too. But this quietness is actually quite nice. I just wish we were in an actual campground and not on the side of the road. But it is what it is. Boondocking, traveling. You never know where you might end up at. I'm going to try and get a picture of it here in a minute. But I've got the little dipper right up here in the sky. I don't know how good my phone's camera is gonna pick it up. I'll give you guys a little taste of what I see. Complete darkness. Like, no light, nothing. Yeah, it's dark out here. If Bigfoot was to walk in front of me right now, I probably wouldn't even know it. Especially with this light in my eye. Alright. talk to you guys in a little bit. Good morning, everybody. So, this was our spot last night. Not too bad. It was nice and quiet. Ooh. Just waking up, getting my senses together. Probably gonna run up to the store here in a minute, get something to drink, and then go over to the rest area, fill up the water jugs, and basically get our day started. That was about the most noise I heard all night, was that truck coming by right now. It has been completely quiet out here. Very quiet, nice and peaceful. Alright, you guys, get my day started. I gotta get stuff put up. Alright, you guys, we're kind of cruising up towards Douglas City store right now. Just kind of enjoying the view. I just remembered something. I closed the hood all the way last night. Little things like that, you guys. We kind of do that every now and then. Now, the speed limit through here is only 15 miles per hour. And believe me, you want to do it. It's not at the risk of getting a ticket or law enforcement. It's actually out of respect for the locals that live down in here at Douglas City. You know, it's a small little town, and these guys don't really want you flying fast around their corners, which is understandable. Their houses are right there. Slightest mistake at a high speed, you go right into their living room. I don't think I would want to go in somebody's living room. Do you want to go in somebody's living room? I know I don't. Not in my vehicle, anyway. So you guys, here's one of the little things that's really neat about Douglas City, and that is their population thing. Here at the city, they have both the elevation and the population here, and their population is 60 people, give or take, depending on the year. Wandering into the Douglas City store, you will find your run-of-the-mill standard refreshments and snacks that you would find in any convenience store. A trophy wall of the fishing catches and gold finds from the Trinity River. The store also offers the angler in the area a small tackle area so you can gear up for your next fishing trip. While you're at it, you can get those few extra items that you might need for a couple of days of camping and fishing down on the Trinity River. Alright guys, so we're just pulled into the town of Weaverville. What happened with Douglas City and camping? Well, we found out there at the Douglas City store that you got to reserve your campsites there at the Douglas City campground now. You can't just go in and pay for a site like you used to be able to do. Well, that's what we get for being gone for 9 years. We don't know all the rules, but that's okay. You know.
And you got to call to get permission if you want to go down there to mine.
So you got to call to get permission to mine? So they basically a permit thing like Forks of the View.
You just got to call Douglas City Campground, she said, and then talk to the guy, and he'll say yes or no. And then if he says yes, you go down there.
Okay. So yeah, the rules have changed here a little bit, but that's okay. You know, like I said, after being gone for 9 years, I didn't expect everything to be the same. The only consistency in the universe is change. Get you some food, you guys, in a minute, you guys.
Oh, no, he's trying
Take the second left onto Lorenz Road, then slight right. You have arrived.
I'll turn around.
No, it's fine. Just park.
Alright, you guys, let's check this little park out. See what the rules say. Make sure we can bring the dogs out. I've been here about 10-15 minutes just kind of sitting in the shade, running AC. But would like to get the puppers out. Now we're up in a little town called Weaverville. It's a pretty area right here. Leafong Park. Trinity Links Disc Golf. Disc Golf Park. I see dogs over there. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they allow dogs here. Well, hi guys. Got being visited by some pretty doggies here and their owner. Hi. Good morning. Alright, got the dogs out running. This is something they needed, just to come out, get their legs stretched out. It's a perfect little area. It's the temperature here is at least, you know, maybe 80, 82. I almost bet you if I put my pan in the water down there, I might find some color. But I don't want to get in trouble. I don't know if you're allowed to do that here. Most places, city ordinances don't allow you to do any panning in town anymore. Or like in Prescott, in downtown Prescott, I used to be able to go down to the creek there at Granite Creek Park and put my pan in the water. Same thing in another town we're going to go to, but they changed that about 10 years ago.
Totem found the water,
Yep.
and Nubis went with him.
Nubis, get off the collar.
Give him out. Come here, Gizmo. I'm gonna check one on the AC.
Yeah, I'm going to go turn it off. After a couple of awesome hours of playing along the creek and enjoying the shade and exploring Leafong Park, we decided it was time to pack up and leave and explore some more of the general area. Now this area, Weaverville, California, is the county seat of Trinity County. It boasts a whopping population 3,600 residents as of the 2020 census. The town sits in the northwest part of California in the Klamath Mountains at the base of the Trinity Alps Wilderness area, sitting at an elevation of 2,051 feet. And unfortunately, at this point in the drive, my camera is not doing the area any justice and is completely overexposed. Hold on, you guys. Let me fix this little problem and you'll be able to see more of what this little area has to offer. Alright, as we head down the road here in Weaverville and I fiddle with the settings, I want you to take note of just how beautiful this area is at. As I said a moment ago, the town sits at the base of the Trinity Alps Wilderness area in the Klamath Mountains. What a gorgeous little area to live in for the residents. Now, this charming little historic mining town was founded in 1850, just after gold was discovered on the Trinity River in the year 1848 by a Major Pearson B. Reading. Now, this is pretty much the end of the town. I think I mentioned this town is small, and when I say small, blink of an eye type small, 3 to 4 miles long. However, we're going to take a U-turn right here. We're going to pull down this little road, and we're going to go visit one of the local landmarks that I am cross my fingers is open. Give it a moment, you guys. I got to hit this gravel lot and turn around. In the meantime, while I'm doing this, Jennifer pointed out a little unknown fact, or known fact, depending on how you look at it, about Weaverville. You'll notice that there is a stop sign when I turn around and come up here to make my right-hand turn. There are signage in town, but the town is lacking something, and it's something that the town really just doesn't want. I'm going to make a right here, and I wonder if you can notice it right away when you see the lady crossing the crosswalk. Do you see any stoplights? Weaverville, California is one of very few towns in America that has absolutely no stoplights whatsoever. And I did not realize that. After coming up here so many times over the years, I never realized there were no stoplights in the town until she pointed it out to me. And I even looked it up on Google, and Google made mention of that as well. This town has no stoplights. So you really do got to watch out for the pedestrians and for any traffic that is turning on to the main highway right here, which is Highway 299. Or if you're going to be pulling into a parking space like I'm about to do here in a minute or two to visit the museum, you have to be cautious of any traffic coming down because there is no stoplights. Like here we are at a spot where there would normally be a stoplight, but no, that car went on through. And I can safely merge back in and then pull into a parking space. And here we are at the museum. Driving through downtown Weaverville here, and the main museum is right off the main road. And this thing shows the old mill, stamp mill. See the bucket right there. How it would come out of the building and dump the ore. It's so cool. Paymaster Mine Stamp Mill. The Paymaster Gold Mine in Eastman Gulch, northeast of Lewiston, was located by Billy Richards, Bob Hamilton, and Gene Goodyear in 1901. The original mill was built about 1904. The machinery was dismantled, restored, and re-erected in this similar mill building in 1984 by the Trinity County Historical Society. The mill is powered by steam and is fully operable. It is used to crush gold-bearing ore, freeing the gold from the rock to be recovered by amalgamation with quicksilver. Get down here and check this out, you guys. Paymaster Stamp Mill. Grounds out here at some of the old equipment. Some of the hydraulic mines here. These are old nozzles that would blast the side of the hill, bringing all the rock and ore and gravel down. slip buck, used to move dirt, sand or small rock in road building and other dirt moving operations. This type of equipment is pulled by ox, mule, or horse and normally operated by one man. The operator lifts up on handles to cut into dirt and push down to slip across the ground when filled. To dump lifts up on handles while stopped. This type of equipment is used in construction of the Grange ditch. Fresno scraper, an invention used for road building and canal digging and general dirt scraping. This 1883 invention was used worldwide as a horse and mule pulled implement. This particular scraper was used to help build US 299, the road that connects Trinity County to the rest of the world. The Fresno scraper was instrumental in the building of the Panama Canal and was used by the US Army in Europe during World War I. A two-horse model, this one cost $28 when new. A 1912 contract building US Highway 99 paid a man with this scraper in a single team $5 per day, while a man with a four-horse team and larger scraper was paid $6.50 per day. A man with a shovel was paid $2 per day. A district advantage of this design was that the rate of emptying could be controlled from a small amount to a full dump. Today, pulled and self-propelled scrapers owe their design to this model, while the animal-drawn implements fell into disuse once motorized tractors and graders came into favor. Donated by W.M. Forney, December 2021. Rock crusher, jaw type, manufactured by Joshua Henning Machine Works, San Francisco, California. 6-inch by 8-inch jaw opening. The movable jaw can be adjusted to crush ore of any aggregated desired size, using any type of power available. This crusher was set up on the Salisbury property on Little Boulder Creek, a tributary of Coffee Creek. Donated by W.M. Salisbury, June 1985, refurbished and assembled by Hal Goodyear, 1999. That'd be this big old piece of equipment right here, you guys. This guy right here. And then here, you know, what it says, a Pelton wheel. Pelton wheel. From the Texas Jack Mine on the South Fork of Indian Creek from Edmund's owner. This is a homemade version of the true water wheel patented by L.A. Pelton. A small commercial model of a Pelton wheel is mounted below. Power is generated by directing a high-pressure stream of water against the buckets bolted to the rim of the wheel, and used to drive all types of mining, milling, and electrical generated machinery. This 54-inch wheel drove a large 3-stamp stamp mill crushing gold-bearing ore. The speed of the wheel is controlled by a 7-inch gate valve that regulates the amount of water passing through the 1.5-inch nozzle. Donated by Ollie Edmonds, Asplin, October 1966. Assembled by Dick Peterson and Hal Goodyear, 1999. Wow. Imagine the engineering on this. Look, it's all wood with metal staked into it. That is so cool. There's also a battery box there for the equipment. Closed monitor. Hydraulic giant monitor. Gas barrels. See what's up in here. Oh wow, look at this. Wow. This is cool, you guys. Ox yokes. Cobbler's tools, farrier's tools, packing saddles. Look at the old skis. That is so cool. Now, in all honesty, years ago I never came into this museum, and this is my first time. Hello?
Hi there. Open except when I'm here on a Saturday,
Okay.
this building. And the ditch tender cabin is open at any time. That one on the way over here.
Yeah.
The little stamp mill in the building that's sitting right outside here is the only steam-operated stamp mill in the United States that works
Really?
on steam.
Okay.
There are other stamp mills, but they have old tractor engines or something else running them.
Right.
We have the original steam engine. Well, that red machine there is the original steam engine out of the,
So that's the
Yeah,
original
same
steam
one.
engine from over there.
what's in it now is a little blue one, about half that size, that works just fine.
Okay. Okay. Wow. I love it, you know, because the history up here with going mining, because I was reading about the sleds out there and how that invention led up to what we use today on modern roads. You know, a lot of people don't think about the history, you know, about where did these equipment come from and what we're using today. And then you look at how the old timers, how they had to utilize everything by hand and how heavy everything was to get it up in here into the mountains.
That's why we're here.
You know, yeah, it's the hardiness of the mountain people, you know, the pioneer spirit of America. So when it came to the equipment that came up here, what equipment was it the most that they used as far as on a day-to-day life? You know, what's some of the stuff here they would use every day out here?
Well, all this stuff, everything we have here is Trinity County.
Right.
Nothing outside of Trinity County is here, except one bellows up there that we're going to get trade. We think it belongs to Lassen County.
Okay.
We've offered it to their museum.
Okay.
We sell for trade, but we don't care that we get anything back.
Now, what was this used for?
That's a seed gleaner. In older days, before they had hybrid seeds and you could buy seeds anywhere, you saved seeds at the end of the growing season. Bigger crops, not for a home garden.
Right.
Carrots and potatoes. Well, maybe you saved potatoes, but you didn't clean the seeds in here. Anything with a seed, especially livestock feed, grain crops, grain for flour for humans, and the rest of the grain crops were usually livestock feed.
Okay.
Barley, rye, and such as that. And you saved the seed for next year's planting. And these usually this is a restored one. These two are not restored. We're going to put one of these in storage. We don't need all three out, but you took it to the nearby store usually that owned one of these, because you didn't usually own one of these yourself.
Right.
Unless you were a really big farm. And most of Trinity County didn't have really big farms. Most of it's too steep.
Right.
It stands on end. So there were a few grain fields in the Hayfork Valley, the Hoopa Valley, and elsewhere, littler pieces up Covington Millway. There's some flat places along the river that were to have a grain crop. And you'd save the seed. You'd take it to a nearby store that owned this thing, and they'd clean it. It's called a seed gleaner. It's spelled with a G. And and you change you see these filters down here.
Yeah. Right here, you guys.
Yeah. You change those for different size seed. You have fine seed, you put a really fine screen in. You have bigger seed, something like this.
Okay.
Beans or peas would be maybe working in this one, as you see it. And that's what all these did.
Okay.
Same thing with here. These two machines, they were probably too expensive for people to own at home.
Right.
On a ranch. or at a farm or your house. It's expensive. So they had them in a store nearby, and you took your fruit to them. And if you're going to make grapes and squish them to make wine, they could do that for you.
Okay.
But unless you owned or ran a winery, you didn't have this. And if you had a winery, it might be bigger one than that. But especially this one, you could mash fruit, any kind of fruit, to make jam. You just take it to them, or you make apple cider, squish apples in it, put them down through there, and way back when. And it also would mash other stuff.
It's amazing at what the old timers utilized to make their products and the things that they needed. You know, people nowadays, they don't realize what they went through, you know, and how hard life was up in these mountain regions and on the Pioneer Plains. And to have, you know, the luxury of this, you know, this would have been a luxury back then, but it would have been something that they would utilize every day and, you know, flock to the store to get and probably hold in their cabins for the winter, right?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I make jam for my own use at home, for my family. I make jam, but I have a KitchenAid that grinds like this does. And I just run fruit through it, and I make apricot pineapple jam, for instance, or strawberry jam. I run it through my own machine.
Right.
But I have a little one, and it wasn't all that expensive. Back in the day, I don't know what that cost, but a lot more than most homes would have.
Yeah. Yeah.
For single use.
Now, as I'm looking around, I see this thing up here on the wall, this big old hook thing. What is that? What was that used for?
Well, for moving hay, this one would be. Actually, I grew up with one of these.
Okay.
This is called a Jackson fork.
Uh-huh.
And you put that rope outside the barn. You know, almost every barn has a peaky part that sticks out at the top of the barn.
Yeah.
There's a timber underneath there. And that's what that little pointy thing on the end of the barn is for, to cover the timber and keep it safe.
Gotcha.
So that goes outside the barn, and you drive your wagon load of loose hay up underneath that thing and drop this down into it. This travels out to the end and stops.
Right.
This is called a bayonet, this style. We didn't have this. What we had was two of those, but about a quarter that size. And what you did was, you did two of them, you dropped it down in the hay, and then when you lifted it, it lifted up like that. And you lifted maybe a quarter of a wagon load of hay at one time. You had a horse or a mule to pull on the rope. Sometimes we cheated. We put my little brother on a tractor, and then we hollered at him just like we did the mules. No, you dummy, back up!
Oh, wow.
But when you could stand up in the haymow and talk to the horse or mule down below and let them do the pulling. You didn't have to have somebody down there.
Right.
Well, you could if it wasn't a well-trained horse, or a mule. But anyway, that brings it up, and then it goes lateral into the barn.
Okay.
With that load of hay. And then somebody inside pulls this and drops the hay with this bayonet. Or you could put a bale of hay up in there too, and then drop it. And you might think, well, that's awful slow to bring one bale at a time up to a barn.
Right.
But most barns didn't have a stairwell. They had a ladder that went up to the haymow.
Right.
You climbed a ladder straight up. And doing that, of course, you can't do that with a bale of hay on your back or in your arms. You can't get a bale of hay up a ladder straight up. You might on a stairwell, but even that would be slow. So this speeded things up.
Okay.
And especially since it would grab a bunch of hay, bring it up and drop it. It was a whole lot quicker than taking a pitchfork, one pitchfork at a time to get it up in a haymow.
Right.
The haymow is the second floor.
Yeah.
That's a long way up there. You're standing on a wagon, of course, but when you throw that up there, it's a hard job. One pitchfork at a time.
Right.
So, it's called a Jackson fork, and I'm a Jackson, but I'm not related to whoever invented that, unfortunately.
What's the ages on those carriages?
Say what?
What's the ages on those carriages? How old are they?
Which thing you're talking about?
Well, some of the horse-drawn carriages along the wall there. Yeah, what are they? What years do they range?
I don't know the exact years. The turn of the century,
Turn of the century.
1900.
Okay.
But the buggies, the wagons, the freight wagon, we don't know much about that big heavy-duty guy.
Okay.
That came up from Indian Creek about a year ago. The man that owns the ranch now asked if we'd like it. We said, uh-huh. And so we hauled it up here and put it there. We don't know much about it. I saw it 50 years ago when I took my children to see it. My father used to rent that place and ran cattle on it down at Indian Creek. He rented the 160 acres and then 2 sections of land behind that to run cattle on it. And he took me down to that barn with my children when they were little. Now, of course, they're adults.
Such an amazing history, and to be able to speak with you here at the museum, who grew up here, is such a treat.
Yeah.
You know, stories of the locals. That's what I like hearing.
Sure.
You know, I know what this is. It's an old mill, not a mill, but a type paste mill. You know, print mill.
Linotype.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just reading about it. We have an article in the newest Trinity, which is the magazine. We sell it up in the museum up there. But the first article in this year's issue is about this linotype machine. And it's about that machine right there. Tells about how it was set up, how it was used. It's a neat thing. But that's in this magazine.
Okay.
Deanna is the author of that article and the editor of this magazine this year.
Now, this is an old long tom, correct? Or an old rocker box?
Yes, that just came in, and I don't know the history of this one.
Okay.
This is our accession table. When we get new stuff that comes in, till we figure out what it is, in the museum trade, they call it the provenance of the machine, whatever it might be. I know what this is. This is another part of a Jackson fork.
Okay, yeah.
This guy, it's well, that's a Jackson fork. It's upside down right now from where it would be working. And some of this other stuff, we know what it is, but we don't know where it came from or who used it.
Right.
Or who made it. And that's what we try to learn, like every one of these. There's not a mark on it. So how are we going to tell what it is? Some are common. I know what that is. I have
it's an old drill.
Just like it at home.
Yep, I've got one in Arizona just like
Sure.
it.
It's common.
Yep.
But what about this one? Where was it used? Who had it?
Right.
Where did it work? Yeah, we're trying to learn that.
Yeah, this here looks like an old long tom or just a sluice.
It's a fairly modern one,
Yeah.
or a new one, I should say, fairly new. And I don't know where it came from. It appeared here. I've been out of stir for almost a year here because of my wife has been in hospital.
Gotcha.
But so I wasn't here for almost a year, and here it is. So I don't know a thing about it.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you where it came from or who used it or whether it's new or used.
Let's walk out and look at the pump house. You want to show me that?
They'll learn something about it. Cut through here if you want.
Okay.
It's a little quicker. Take you on the inside. We'll get an insider's tour here.
Hear that, you guys? You're gonna get an insider's tour here. How cool is that?
Watch your step. This is a replica building,
Okay.
just like it used to be. I said that the other day and I tripped over and fell in.
Look at this, you guys. Oh,
A
wow.
little bit more light on it. That's a steam boiler, not just a tank of water.
Right.
It's a boiler. It has tubes inside of it, and it makes steam. It takes about an hour to get steam up enough to work with. And that goes over the top, over here, and you put a little steam in here into the steam engine. You saw that big red one over there.
Yep.
That was the original engine. This steam engine is about half that size, but it works fine. And it runs a wheel, that runs the belt, and that belt, when it works, lifts those two shafts up, one and then the other, one and then the other, and it drops them. What that shiny is a camshaft, and it lifts it up about 10 inches, then drops it. Each shaft weighs 850 pounds. Now this is an assayer's mill, just to learn if you have any gold in
Right.
your rock, in hard rock mining. You mash that rock that you put in the back, you feed it in the back, and it goes down what looks like a blackboard. Is called a battery, where the rock gets crushed. And that's not a blackboard, it's an iron sheet, so we don't get killed out here.
Right.
There's shrapnel coming out here if you crash rock. You put rock in about that big around, 8-10 inches in diameter, or smaller. The smaller the better, and the quicker it'll get mashed. You let that run a while, and it will crush it this fine, almost to talcum powder,
Okay.
really fine. And then you wash that under here. This is a copper plate. This is just to protect it when we're not using it. But you wash it with a little bit of water down through here, that really fine. And before you start, you coat this with a little bit of mercury, liquid mercury, and push it in water, and let the gold come, if there's any gold, in that really fine grain stuff. As that washes down, and you run maybe a ton or 10 tons or 100 tons of rock through it. Now, if you're a realist, you call it rock. If you're an optimist, you call it ore.
Right.
That gets mixed. The mercury binds only with gold. It ignores everything else. A rock that has gold in it also probably has silver, platinum, lead, copper, zinc, and other minerals. They're all from the same origin. They're igneous rock. They're volcanic created rock. Well, but you only want the most expensive, which is gold in most cases.
Yeah, right.
So the mercury combines with gold. Then you scrape that up at the end of a run to see how much gold do you get, how many ounces per ton, per 10 tons, 100 tons. You scrape that up and put it in a retort. This is called a retort, and it unscrews from here. They make bigger ones, much bigger ones, and make smaller ones, depending on what you're doing. You put them in here with the mercury and the gold, what you scraped up, and you put it in a coal-fired furnace, just a coal fire. Heat it up, and when it gets hot enough, the mercury will come off as a vapor, and then it cools. You put a little water on this and it cools, and it drips off of here, and you save the mercury and use it over and over and over, day after day. And it's pure mercury. What's left in here should be pure gold.
Right.
It might not be pure. there's pure gold and there's more pure gold.
Right.
So you'll take that out and put it in this thing, put it in a crucible, and that gets up to about 1400 degrees inside here. And that will drive off impurities. And then you take that molten gold, liquid gold, and put it in just a cast iron mold. And there's big molds, little molds. Here's a big mold. If you're really an optimist, you'll use a big one.
Right.
And you make an ingot of gold, and that's an ingot of gold. And that's what you sell.
Yep.
This is payday. And you go through all that process just to make a little bit of gold.
It was a long process to go through, but you know, it's what drove the West open and what made America the country that it is that drive to come west and to find gold, and an American dream to have a little bit of your own and to be wealthy and prosperous.
Well, that's the process for hard rock mining. There are really two kinds of gold. One of them is free gold. That's what Mother Nature knocked out of the rock. Grains and flakes and occasionally a nugget of gold that you find with a pan or a rocker.
We know that as placer gold.
Box,
Yep.
long tom.
Yep.
That's what you're looking for, free gold. This is hard rock mining, where you have to beat it out of the rock yourself.
Also known as lode gold.
Yep.
Yep. You got your placer gold and you got lode gold. So, yep. Well, all right, you guys, right here is the old blacksmith. It's really dark in there. And how about that? That interview with Don over here. Such awesome information. And, you know, to think his grandfather was one of the original pioneers that came here to Weaverville. How cool is it to meet somebody like that? You don't just, that doesn't happen every day. So here we got the gift shop. I'm going to skip the gift shop. I don't have the money for it. Jennifer's kind of hungry. I'm hungry. So, we're going to head over here to the local market and get something to eat and something to drink. Taco shop. Subway. Guys, God, what a fun day today here in Weaverville. Dinner tonight's going to be Subway. You can hear Jennifer tearing into hers now. And we're down here back by the Trinity River, but not where we camped at last night. Probably going to camp in this spot. Didn't say no camping. It just said no campfires. It also said, you know, we could cook with a stove if we had a permit, but when I was driving in yesterday, I saw a big old sign that said fire permits are suspended. So even if we wanted to cook, we couldn't, even with a propane stove. So we're left with Subway or whatever we can find in town. But this spot here looks like it's going to be a really fun spot to camp tonight and nice and quiet. All right, you guys, so some people were here at this spot when we pulled into it. So we haven't let the dogs out yet to play. I'm about to do that right now. And they just people just pulled out. Now, I'll show you around the area, too, because pretty much it's going to be our campsite tonight. And it's actually not a bad little site. Alright, you guys, so... Alright, let's walk around and take a look at this spot. Okay, this is going to be a great camp spot tonight. You know, granted, we're not miles and miles off the paved road, but we are in dirt, we are in the mountains and we are by a river, and you can't ask for much more. I would like to pay for the Douglas campgrounds, but everything's by reservation right now, and I didn't see any signs coming in saying no camping. So this will be my campsite tonight. Not down in here by the water, but up where the truck is parked at. Wow, this is actually a beautiful little spot. The willows. And all the trees here. It's absolutely gorgeous, you guys. You know, I'm hoping this spot here is the straw that breaks the bad luck camel. Getting out in the woods and being away from the cities. Now, I know I've got to actually spend more time in the city for my schooling and for pool sale, but I definitely, you know, am looking forward to what road is going to bring next and where we're going to end up at. Hopefully, on the next leg of our journey, we'll be up and around a little bit further north from here. And I'm going to check into a few other places down here before we leave out to see what we can put our pans in the water. Because Douglas City down the road, like I mentioned before, you got to have a reservation for. And I just don't have the money for the reservation right now. And I'm not sure about this spot here, who owns the mineral rights. So, but for camping and just getting the dogs out, it's perfect. I highly recommend it to you guys. Come up here to Steiner Flat Road in Douglas City, California. You won't regret it. Beautiful area out here on the Trinity River. I know that there's really good fishing. I don't have my California fishing license, but other words, I'd put a pole in the water too. I'm actually reserving some money for my Washington State fishing license because there's some spots up there I really want to hit. I haven't hit since I was a kid. And when I was a kid, I used to do really well. And even if it's catch and release, I don't care. I want to go up there and hit a few spots. Now, where did them dogs go to? Now, where did my gizmo go to? Found these two. There's my gizmo, hiding from me. And that little guy will hide in spots. Alright guys, I'm gonna call Anubis off Coda for a moment. Anubis just goes, he's really high strung. I think I've mentioned this in some of my past videos. But just goes a little too far sometimes. Gotta get real vocal with him. Alright, I'm gonna head back up to the truck now. And there we are, we're not very far. Like I said, I don't know where he's going. But the water's right there. Not very far from it. It's a nice little shady spot. Campfire ring right here. Let's see what else we have around here. Two dogs just ran down this way. Ooh, it got real bright there. Uh-oh. You two. Anubis. Coda. Kind of a trail through here. Have to get them back to that shirt over here. I don't want them going down there. Up in the truck. I guess they're done. Alright guys, jumped in the truck to run the AC for a little bit. It is bloody hot out there. You don't feel the temperature, but it's a good 95 to almost 100 degrees. And Although the river's nice and relaxing, I didn't jump in the river. That was for the dog's benefit. I'm gonna go to watching a movie for a little bit and relax in this most beautiful area, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, so we're sitting here at the Douglas City store right now, getting ready to head out. We're going to head back down to Redding for the night, and to a better internet connection where I can check my class schedule. And from there, this week we had a couple of things that Jennifer needs to do in Redding, and some more family to visit, and then we're heading up to Wairika.